Hey, what's up, guys? Good afternoon. I know you guys probably miss me. I know it's been a hard day without me, I bet, but you're gonna have to deal with it for a couple more days. So, we're gonna go ahead and move on with our lesson. So, we're gonna continue with 6.3, multiplying monomials, yes. Um, And we're going to be dealing with exponents. How exciting. We are moving up the ladder, guys. I know you guys are so happy to move on, so let's continue. So 6.3 monomials. Okay, multiplying monomials. Like yesterday we talked about subtracting polynomials. Okay, so we're moving up quick. Okay, so here's the thing. So we got 2 to the second power times 2 to the third power. Okay, I know, very difficult. But let's go ahead and break that down because when we have exponents, we know that 2 to the second power just means 2 times 2. Okay. And we're going to put parentheses because we have another part to it. Okay. And we have 2 to the third power. And we know that 2 to the third power is just 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. So we got 2 to the second power. How many? 1, 2. Okay. And then we got 2 to the third power. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Not that hard. You guys are following along pretty well. And so please make sure that you are writing everything down because I will be checking your notes for a grade. So please don't just think I can get away without not taking notes today. You have to take notes, okay? Welcome to school. Okay, I haven't said that one in a while. So essentially, um, before you overstress and everything, this is what we're gonna do. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. How many twos are we multiplying together? Five. Okay. So your answer is 2 to the fifth power. Oh, but are we supposed to do 2 times 2? Shouldn't it be 4 to the fifth power? You might even think 4 to the sixth power because 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. Like, oh, shouldn't it be 2 to the 6? No. No, 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 no. Okay. And here's why. I want you to write this down. This is called product rule for exponents. Here's the rule. Okay. Um, and I'm gonna write some letters down, and I don't want you to start crying. I don't want you to start getting overwhelmed. So we have A times A. Okay. That could be either a number, like how we just did right here, 2 times 2, or it could be a variable, x to the second power times x to the second power. Okay. So, and m just represent a random number for the exponent. Okay. Be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't care. Uh, when we have when we have two bases being multiplied together, you're going to carry the same base. Okay. That base could be a number. That base can be a variable, like how we just did here. We don't have any variables. It doesn't say 2x times 2x. Now that would be a whole different thing. And we're going to get to that. But there's no variable. It's just 2 to the second. And we're just going to carry on the 2. Okay. So this rule applies for variables and exponents. And you'll see what I mean in a second. And it just means m plus n. So if m is 5 and n is 1, oh, well, not 1. If n is 2 and m is 5, it would just be 7. Okay. Um, so I don't want you to get too confused about that. Okay, let's move on. Let's go ahead and do another problem. Uh, Problem number 2. We have here 6y to the second power times 3 to the fifth power. Okay, uh, you see how there's 2y's, okay? We have here y to the second and y to the fifth. Ignore this for a second, okay? Y to the second times y to the fifth is very similar to this, okay? But we're running into an issue here where we have coefficients, and that's fine, okay? These numbers will be multiplied together, okay? 3 times 6, okay? If they were the same number, you would multiply them together because the base of that coefficient is y, and the base of this coefficient is also y. That is the product rule for exponents, okay? I don't want you to confuse, well, we have 3y to the second times 3y, so then it's 3y to the 7th power. No, that is incorrect. If you do that, I will give you a big fat F. So we have here 6 y to the second times 3y to the 5th power. And we're going to go ahead and rewrite this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rewrite this. Okay, and this is it. 6 times 3. Okay, I'm getting my 6 and 3 from that. Okay, and what else do we have? What's left? We got y to the second and y to the 5th. Okay, now this, just looking at that, now that belongs to the product rule for exponents. And now we can simplify a little bit, okay? 6 times 3, what's 6 times 3? 18. Great job. I heard you. I know you said that. 6 times 3, 18. Okay, now with this, following this rule, what would it be? Okay, they're both bases are the same, so we would carry the y, right? Okay, and now we don't multiply the exponents. What do? We add them, okay, because that's the rule. M plus n, okay? 18y, 2 plus 5 is 7. 18y to the 7th power. Yes. When multiplying monomials, there's a rule. And here's the rule, and I want you to write it down. Here's the rule. Number 1, you're going to rearrange. You're going to rearrange the factors to group the coefficient and the variables, like how we did here. We group these and we group those. Okay, that's what it means by rearrange. Number 2, we're going to multiply. That's how we did here. 6 times 3, y to the second. We're going to rearrange. We're going to multiply the coefficients, 6 times 3. And lastly, we're going to add the exponents. Mr. Polito, I understand this. I don't need to write this. Yes, you do. I want you to write it. And we did that exactly right here. We took this equation, we rearranged it, okay? We then multiplied the coefficients, and then we then added the variables, okay? That's the rule. Let's go ahead and do another one. We're gonna do a couple more. What's that? That was number 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to example number 3. Okay, example number 3: negative x to the 4th power. Oh, that doesn't look like y times y to the 2nd power, and then multiplied by x to the 3rd power times y. The reason why it's grouped this way, it's so um, you can see the grouping, okay? Because if I just had negative x to the 4th, y to the 2nd, x to the 3rd, then y, you would blow up. I know you will. So then that's why it's grouped, so it's not so hard on the eyes. So let's go ahead and solve. So what was the first thing we gotta do? We gotta rearrange. Yeah, that's the first thing we gotta do. We gotta rearrange. Um, And so there are no coefficients. So uh, half of our work is cut, okay? Um, but we need to have rearrange it where those variables are close to each other. Okay, so we got negative x to the fourth power, that's from here, times x to the third, and that's from there, okay? That's how I'm rearranging it. And then kind of like reading a book, I'm going to go back here, okay? Y times y to the second, and then times y, okay? Um, if it helps you to write it and then cross it so you know and you don't miss anything, that's fine. You can do that. So you don't miss anything because it'd be a shame if you miss something and then you get the wrong answer. So knowing the rule that we talked about, so we are rearranged. Great job. Okay. We don't have any coefficients to multiply. So we don't have to do that. And now we can add the exponents together. So we have x times x to the fourth power times x to the third power. Remember, a negative times a positive is a negative, so that negative will carry over, and it would be negative x. What's 4 plus 3? What's 4 plus 3? 7. X to the 7th power. And then we're going to carry down our y. Um, and then, even though y is by itself, there's an understood 1. Similar how there's an understood 1 here as well. There's an understood 1 for the exponent. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And your answer is negative x to the 7th power times y to the third power. Or just negative x to the 7 y to the third. Okay. Um, let's go ahead and do one more. And that is example number 4. You guys are doing a good job. I know you guys are doing a good job. And I know that you will do great. I know you're doing great. I know you guys are being diligent and responsible. So let's go ahead and do the next one. We got 2x to the a power. Okay, we're not dealing with numbers here anymore, and you're probably gonna go crazy, and that's okay. And I'm here to help you. Okay, if you're going crazy, I'm going crazy with you, and we're gonna figure it out together. So do not fret. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Okay, we got 2x to the a, y to the a times 4x to the a, y to the b. Yeah, not having numbers makes our life so difficult. I know, but that's life. Okay, in life, you're gonna have to do things that you don't want to, and you're gonna have to do it. So, and this is one of those things. If you don't want to do it, too bad. You gotta do it. When I graduate high school, you gotta pass Algebra 1. So let's go ahead and do that. So, what's the first thing we gotta do? Somebody tell me what's the first thing we gotta do. Yep, we're gonna rearrange. I heard you. I know you were thinking about it. I read your mind. Yeah, rearrange. So let's go ahead and rearrange that, starting off with the coefficients. What are the two coefficients that I'm dealing with? Well, yeah, okay. So 2 and 4. Okay. Yes, there is an understood 1, but we're not throwing that in the mix. Okay, that would make your life confusing. But the two that are given to us are 2 and 4. So 2 times 4. Okay, and then uh, let's go ahead and write our x's. Okay, uh, we got x to the a and we got x to the a here. So x to the a times x to the a. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at our y's. Okay, oh, we got y to the a, and then we got y to the b times y to the b. Okay, this is going to be a little bit confusing. Let me Let me look ahead. I'm trying to see if you're going to do any of these for homework. And it seems like you're not, as far as what I see. But it's good to know. It's still good. It's still very important to know. Okay, because what if you get it on a quiz? Yeah, if you're not, you're cooked. So what was the first thing we got to do with multiplying mono, monomials? What's the first thing? Rearrange. What's the second thing? Somebody tell me. Yes, multiply. Good job. Okay, so we're given these two coefficients, 2 times 4. We know that it's 8. Okay, and then next thing we got to do is, well, what's the third thing we got to do? Add the exponents. Okay, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but do not worry, I will help you. So let's look at x before we look at this craziness. We got, are they the same base? Yes. So we know that base is going to carry over. Looking back over here, okay, when there's two of the same base, it goes it goes over. Okay, you don't have to multiply it. If it was 2a times 2a, it would be 2. Okay, not 4, because it's about the base, not the coefficient. The base can be a variable, and the base can be a constant, just being a regular number. Um, so we have here x, okay, or we already did that. So, and how many a's do we have? We have two a's, okay. You can't add a and be like, no. It would be 2a. I know that was so funny. Yeah, but it would be a, 2a, not okay? So 8x to the 2a power, I guess you could say. Um, and then here's the thing with y and b. Since we don't know what those numbers are, and you are supposed to add them because they have the same base, we are going to carry that y over. But because we don't know what a and b is, all we know is that they are added together. We leave it off at that. I know this is tricky, but I really need you to understand this. We rearranged it where we wrote down our coefficients first, 2 and 4. And then we put our x's, xa and xa, and then we put our y, which was ya, and then yb. 2 times 4 gives us 8, and then x to the a times x to the a, well, it's still x, but we don't know what a is. But we know there's two of them, so it would be 2a. For y, they're the same, so we're going to carry over that y. But because we do have to add those exponents together, we have to add them, but we don't know what those numbers are. So we're just going to put a plus b. And that is it, and that's your final answer. Good job, guys. This is it. This is part 1 of 6.3 multiplying monomials, and you will do part 2 probably today if there's time. If not tomorrow, I have to see how long this took. But I hope you guys did good. I want you guys to make sure you have everything written down. I'm gonna leave it like this. So if the sub wants to pause it so you can write notes as well, please, guys, I want you guys to write everything down because it is gonna be a grade when I come back. This is gonna count as your homework on top of the homework that I am going to assign. So Just because there's a sub doesn't mean that we're not going to do anything. We still have to move on because I'm not here this week and then it's spring break. But yes, this is it. Good job, guys. You guys did awesome. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're behaving and I hope you're doing well. And I care about you guys. I love you guys and I'm praying for you guys. Okay. I will see you in part 2.